Thank you. Welcome, everyone. This is the board meeting of the Department of Water and Power Board of Commissioners, Tuesday, September 7th, 2010. The initial item is comments from our chair, which is me at this point, our president. Channel 35, you can view us on Channel 35, which is the city channel. The times are generally the day of or the evening of the meeting, which is tonight, anywhere between 5 and 7 o'clock, and also on Saturdays and at other times during the week. If you have any questions as to when should you desire to rehear our commission meeting, if you have any questions as to the time when it's being shown, please call the city channel at Channel 5. You can get that through 311, dialing 311, and again, Channel 35, the city channel. Let me just make a general comment and congratulate and thank our staff under the guidance of Austin Butner, our CEO. Has been working very hard on the issue of the once-through cooling, which, as you'll remember, is an issue that would require some major changes to be made in the department that would be extremely costly to us and therefore to the ratepayers. They are working with the regulatory committee who oversees it at the state level and with many others to find a solution that will be palatable and reasonable. We understand that we cannot afford to dramatically raise our rates, but we also understand that we have a commitment to renewable energy and clean energy, and that's what we're attempting to work with and to make certain that our water systems are not causing any types of pollution or harm to our environment. So again, there's been much progress made, and we thank you again for the hard work and effort that you and the rest of the staff, the department, has been engaging in, and there's so many people to thank for that I won't begin to do that at this point. Next, I'm very pleased to announce that we have a new commissioner who has been confirmed by the City Council, appointed by the mayor. Her name is Christina Noonan. Christina is the former president of the Convention Center Commission and is very well versed in city issues. We'll give you more about her bio when she's here. She will be her first meeting will be our next meeting, and so we hope that you welcome Christina. She'll be a great addition to our commission, and we're very welcome to have a full board now that will enable us to get our committees off the ground better than we had before. Next issue I want to talk to you about is many of you have raised issue and asked some on a positive note, some on a not so positive note, about the security and what we've done to this building, the JFB Building, and what you do not see at other of our sites that are where we keep our equipment, our facilities, which we have highly securitized based upon recommendations of two major consulting reports over the past 3 to 4 years, recommendations of the Los Angeles Police Department Archangel Group, which oversees the issues of security, and our own security department. And one of the reasons that we have done this is, some of you may recall, and we're seeing it unfortunately more and more frequently, incidents that arise at buildings, large buildings where there are many people working, as we have here in the department. It's not just a matter of anti-terrorism types of security, but it's security for all of those who visit our building and for those who are employed. I'd like you to recall recently the Silver Spring, Maryland's incident at the Discovery Station, where a random gunman with propane tanks was able to just walk into the lobby of the Discovery Channel and took 3 people hostage. During the standoff, the staff of the Discovery Channel, along with police officers, worked to get most of these 1,900, almost 2,000 people out of that building safely. Negotiations deteriorated, and they moved in, unfortunately, and were forced to kill this man. This incident underscores the importance of what we have been told by our consultants, what we have been told by our own department, head of security, who is from Los Angeles Police Department, what we've been told by the anti-terrorism division from the mayor's office and with others, and that is that we need to be very diligent in protecting our assets. And when I say assets, I think our human assets and our human capital are foremost important, and the rest, follows closely behind. So while some of you might view the latest security measures in the building as an inconvenience, please understand that they're designed to protect the employees and you from such events. In emergency events, the security is here to save lives and to ensure employees as well as the visitors are all out of harm's way, and that is the least we think that we can do for the department. And there has been a great change, and the great change over the last couple of years has been from going into a building and other facilities of DWP that you could simply, anyone could simply walk into, drive under, and go anywhere they want in the building, to a position we hope now where the appropriate people will be coming in the buildings. Will make certain that hopefully they are not either armed or have any other issues that would be inappropriate for them to be here, and yet enable the building to be open to the public and to those who should and do need or want to be here for meetings such as commission meetings and other things that we have. So it's not for naught that we are doing this. It's because we observed, at least when I first came on the commission, there was no security committee. There was no security. There was no security here or at other sites, or limited security. And thanks to Jonathan and the security committee that he and I serve on together, to Pat Finley, who is our director of security, a very well-respected former captain at the Los Angeles Police Department, and our executive committee staff, our senior members of our staff. We've been able to hopefully put the building in a position whereby there will be less harm and jeopardy to either the human capital or the very significant, valuable physical assets that we operate out of this particular building. And so I want to thank you very much for putting up with some of the inconveniences. We're going to make mistakes as things happen. They're brought to our attention. We try and rectify them. But the goal is to securitize this building and its assets, as I've said before. So that is item number 1, my comments. I'm going to go out of order, if I may, and I'm going to ask that we honor someone who has been here for 40 years, another 40-year employee. Her name is Norma Castilla, and she is in the customer supervision, customer services division, and who will be making that presentation to Ms. Castillo.
Oh,
thank you.
Well, before I do that, first of all, congratulations, Norma. And Norma actually started with Department of Water and Power in June of 1968. And she started Department of Water and Power just after 10 days graduating from the high school. And she thought she was just going to come and get a summer intern job. But 42 years later, I guess 42 summers later, she's retiring from here. She started at Department of Water and Power as a clerk typist and then a customer service rep, and recently also as a customer service supervisor in the training area. So anyway, thank you very much, Norma, for your services. Congratulations. Hopefully you have a long and happy retirement ahead of you.
And Norma, if you have something to say, please step up to the microphone and be comfortable in saying it, and then join us up here for photos.
I just want to say that I'm very happy and proud to have worked here, and happier to be retiring from here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Come on forward, Norma. Norma, do you have family or friends that are with you for this?
My daughters and my friends.
Okay, well, why don't you ask your family to please come forward and be part of the photos? And our customer service? Come on, come right here, right around here. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Good, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much for your service. Appreciate it. Okay, now we have a brief report by...
We need a vote
Oh,
for the
yeah, we do.
resolution?
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any objections or abstentions? Seeing and hearing none, it carries unanimously the resolution. Thank you very much, Norma, again, for all your hard work. All right, then we'll move on to the report by the general manager and/or the chief operating officer, whomever will be giving that report, or both.
Thank you. I think it'll be both today. First, thank you for your kind remarks. As Commissioner Alpert has mentioned, we made a considerable amount of progress since we last met on the issue of once-through cooling, and I want to thank everyone, including members of our commission, who were actively involved. And I think we will ultimately have a solution which benefits our ratepayers and at the same time helps achieve the policy objective of mitigating our impact on the oceans which surround us. So I think it's a win-win for everybody. Sort of demonstrates what can happen when we all line up and work in the same direction. Really good effort. Just want to touch briefly on what I think is the most important thing we have going operationally, which is an effort to, starting at the top, to change from within. We had a meeting with the senior managers, about the 40 top managers of the department last week. This is an ongoing effort we have. You'll recall in our budget we announced a half dozen or more operating initiatives where we expect to do things more efficiently than we've done in the past. I'll ask Ramon to speak about those in a minute. But the centerpiece of that is change. And it's changing how we do things, and it's changing our behavior and practices, and examining carefully what got us to where we are and seeing what we can do to do better going forward. So the consistent theme you'll hear from me and the management team as we go forward is how we're following up on those and actually implementing those ideas, because we're not short of ideas, we're actually short of the willingness to change and do things differently to implement them. So with that as a segue, Ramon, I think, has a brief update which he will share with the commissioners and our audience, giving you some sense of how we are making progress and the types of objectives that we've set forth for ourselves in this effort. Thank you.
Before I do that, Commissioner, I'd like to ask if you could defer one item, item number 27.
Item number 27, there's been a request to defer that unless there's any objection by any of our commissioners. There is none. Is there a motion? Yes, motion to defer,
I will
please.
make the motion that we defer item 27.
I'll second.
Any objections or abstentions? Item 27 is deferred. That does not mean it will necessarily be on our next agenda. Deferred means we can put on any agenda as soon as we're all ready to hear it. Thank you.
As Austin just mentioned, in the long-term plan that he presented to the board, he did talk about some assessment that we had to make and look at how we change the way we do business. And I think as part of that, we are engaging in an overall change management effort. I will show you some information in a minute, and you will notice today that we've started to do some things a year or so ago, but not enough progress has been made. And I think while we were talking, we realized that it's really an issue of change management. So we have started an overall change management process that will ensure that our current capabilities do meet the challenges that are before us. And it's going to be very, very important that all of us are focused on it. And we just started that process about a week or 10 days ago, and we hope to keep that momentum going over the next few months. And I think as a board, you've seen over the last couple of board meetings, we've had a couple of firms that we have engaged. And this is part of a team of good, I think, reputable firms that we have hired to help us in the operational assessments. And with that, Steve, if you can just bring that up, I'll walk you through. And the most important thing, what we see up there, our vision and strategy. And we look to this board for our policy direction for all our major initiatives. And I sum it up in 3 words, basically, support, improve, and align. And part of our mission and vision has always been to be an environmentally and economically sustainable business. So all of our efforts will be geared towards this. To develop the competency and skills to improve operational effectiveness. And all these things are supported by our culture. And culture is nothing but the people of the department. And all of these things that you're seeing up there, all the changes that we want can only be done through effective communications. So the whole presentation today and all you'll hear from us going forward is effective communications and change. And I think that will help us move to the next level. So, Steve? We've talked about this before. I think I sent out a memo to the staff about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I copied the commission on that. Basically, it's a back to basics. Our purpose is to provide reliable water and power to our customers. We know what we do and we know how to do it. And as part of our focus on continuous improvement, we compare ourselves to the best practices in the industry. So resource and cost optimization to support a healthy, effective, and efficient organization, that is critical and that is the key. What we're seeing up there, the approach, it's basically the basic 4-step approach. I'm sure all of us or many of us are used to that. We're assessing our current state, identifying the gaps and the opportunities that are there, then identify the processes and the technological improvement that are needed, and then develop integrate change plans. And after that, take immediate action. We can have all the plans, but we need to take immediate action. Basically, it'll be a continuous improvement process that we'll keep working on. And what you're going to see is the first wave. We're going to just keep going at it until we feel that we are where we need to be. The next slide shows the 7 operational assessments that we are undertaking. As Austin wanted us to focus on the key ones, and these are the first wave. The top 5, which we've already started, supply chain, and enterprise risk assessment, IT, CRS, real estate. The next 2 will be HR and communications. Almost all of them have hard dollar benefits, and some of them may not have hard dollar benefits, but do have process improvements and some soft costs that we'll be saving as we see the process change. On supply chain, currently our spend there is about $1 billion, and we feel very confident that with the changes that Scott Madden has asked us to implement to get in line with the rest of the industry, we will be able to achieve significant savings, and 3 to 7%, and that's up to $70 million, and these are annual savings. And what's interesting in this is in 2008, we had Scott Madden come here and do an assessment, and I think Commissioner Alpert and Commissioner Parfi were here then. And they gave us an assessment and they told us where we were, which is in the bottom half, not even half, bottom 20% of the rest of the industry. And 2 years went by, and I've been getting reports every month, every quarter, and we shared some of them with this board. We are making progress. So we had Scott Madden come back and say, okay, tell us, what do you think? How much progress we've made? And you can see up there, after 2 years, there is progress, but very, very limited. And that kind of started us thinking, why? And because we see a lot of reports, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. We're doing a lot of hard work, but really not making progress. So that leads me, and I think all of us talked about it, is a change. It's an issue of change management. How do we do things differently? How do we do things better? So we have the same plan again from Scott Madden. Nothing much is changing, but I think the way we do business has to change, and that's what we're going to be focused on. And there's 2 or 3 things we're going to do immediately. We're changing the structure of the supply chain group, which will be focused on working directly with their customers, which are the power system and the water system. Go ahead, change that one. And the other piece, which is going to be very, very important, is some strategic sourcing. We've talked about this before, but really have not made any movement at all. And doing that will have a big impact. And we're going to focus on the key first wave this year, and depending on the success of that, we'll keep moving forward. And we will bring to the board on a quarterly basis from now on a progress report on exactly everything that we're doing, in not just supply chain, but all the other assessment that we are undertaking right now. IT, we're doing an assessment of our spend in IT to see if we are spending money in the right places, if we're doing things the right way. We are about halfway through this assessment, and we should have a report hopefully by the November board meeting. And the savings that we estimate through this assessment is about $2 to $6 million. Enterprise risk assessment. And this one is one of those where I don't think there's going to be any hard dollar savings, but it is how we do business, how do we assess risk, and how do we manage it. That has been a concern of not just me, but I think all the management and the top management in the department. We need to be more proactive in what risk we take and how we assess it. Some of the benefits that we will see are more qualitative, especially in the areas of insurance. We hear a lot of anecdotes about our insurance practices and the requirement that we have for our suppliers, which are very onerous. So those are some of the minor changes that you'll see, but will have big impact. And of course, on all our, how we do our fuel purchases and how do we assess the risk there. So in the long term, we should see some, apart from the qualitative, some dollar savings too.
Excuse me, Ramon, could we go back to the risk assessment for one person? One moment, please. There's been some discussion from the commission in the past that one of the reasons that our risk assessment is not better than it should be, or we think it is because we truly don't have a risk assessment person or department or persons that are really able to assess and manage risks for us. Does the change in the enterprise risk assessment include putting people in place with that type of an experience, or are we going to continue just to use outside reports and analysis whenever we think that there may be a potential problem?
I think you're absolutely right, Commissioner. This is the reason we have engaged this firm, is to come and tell us what we are doing, how we're doing it, and how we need to do it. And part of that is the structure of the organization.
Yeah, to look a little differently, you start with process, right? And then you seek to implement that either internally or externally, and it ought to be done on a consistent and continual basis. Risk assessment is not something you do once,
That's right.
You do episodically. So it's both our expectation. I think we're going to see recommendations as to process and as to how we implement it on a continuing basis. And like many things here, if we can implement them with our own people on a consistent basis, we're going to do a better job at it.
Thank you. I'm sorry, interrupt you.
Ramon, I noticed that you kind of skipped over the CIS slide. Could we go back to that for a second? We left from supply chain to information technology.
Oh, you want to go over that again?
I was just wondering if you wanted to.
Oh, yeah, sure. No, as I said, this is a $57 million project aimed at, as you Austin likes to say, move away from a COBOL-based one-man program to state-of-the-art. The old system was implemented.
Don't worry, we're going to keep that guy around.
Well, he's a figment of our imagination, but he's around. It's implemented in 1974, so I think it's about time we make the change. We've tried that. We've had some false starts in the last 10 years, but I think hopefully we'll make it this time. This will replace a variety of our automated and manual processes and provide some good long-term automated solutions. in our billings, collections, and everything else. And this board approved the contract at the last board meeting, and this will bring us into the 21st century. The beneficiary of all this will be our ratepayers. I mean, they are the ones who will benefit from this. The key in this is the savings, and the 17 to 27 million dollars. The difference is really the last $10 million difference is if you go to monthly billings. Right now, as you know, we bill every other month, but if we go to monthly billings, there's an additional $10 million that we will be saving. So we're working through that, and once the CIS gets implemented, then we will have a better sense, and hopefully we can do that. And that's our goal. Monthly billing is our goal.
The degree of difficulty of this transition should not be underestimated. I'd say common law is it's about a 50-50 proposition. Those businesses which make this transition seamlessly and those which have something more akin to a train wreck hopefully will be closer to the seamless. But this is one where you should expect regular updates from management because we have to track it carefully. We obviously can't put ourselves in a position where we don't have a current billing system or we migrate to one which doesn't work better than the one we have. And transitioning any sort of enterprise system is a complicated exercise. For those of us who also are part of the city enterprise system, we could have a seminar on the transition to Google Apps and what has and hasn't gone right. So this is far more complicated than that. And it's something that we need to be vigilant on, and I encourage the commissioners to ask regular questions on this because it'll matter. It's important.
The last slide I have there is for the real estate, and on this I'm going to have Austin talk a little bit about this. There's no cost saving that we've identified as yet, but I think the whole strategy is the issue that's going to help us save money and be more effective in the long run, and I think Austin can add a little more value to that.
Yeah, as we've talked before in presenting the plans, we're going to entering an era of asset optimization. So I think one of the things we're going to have to do is better understand some of our underlying assets, whether they're being used optimally, whether we can convert them to cash or a different use for the benefit of our ratepayer. So we have a process underway. We have an expert on board through an RFP process to begin to catalog what we have. With that inventory, we can then apply judgments as to what we need to maintain and what is available for sale to the private sector or more optimal use on our own mix. And I think that's going to become an important part of our discussion as we go forward and have to make choices about where we invest our monies. So we expect this to be a pretty meaningful component. Again, it's not the P&L component, but rather freeing up assets that we've held a long, long time but haven't been put to work.
And just closing the summary of where we are, the first 5 that we've already started and the 2 to come on. And you can look at the numbers. Depending on how we do, and our goal is to maximize everything so we can hopefully realize about $100 million in savings annually by making sure that we optimize and maximize our efforts in these areas. And we'll be bringing, on a quarterly basis, we'll be bringing to this board an update on all our assessments so you will see progress that we make, or if we don't make it. So.
May I ask what the timeline is in identifying the benefits for HR, real estate, and communications?
Within the next few weeks, we'll have something on board, so hopefully by the next board meeting, we should be able to tell you where we are.
By the next board meeting, or
yeah, I think that's the targets ought to be identified within a month or so.
Okay.
But let's not ascribe too much value to the targets. I think this is an exercise where it's about change and what we actually implement. So let's measure the results. And the targets may move, but I think most importantly is what we've actually gotten done.
Thank you very much. Very interested in the communications assessment. I think we have a lot of improvement in that area.
Yeah. Thank you.
That concludes our report. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. We appreciate that. We're going to move on now to our next agenda item. Before we go into agenda items, the comments or requests from commissioners. Any comments starting with their Vice President?
No, nothing.
Any?
None at this time, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Nothing.
Okay, no other comments. I do have one other comment, some announcements to make, and that is that with the filling of our commission seats, We have helped to restructure our committee structure, and I will indicate to you what that is right now. And I've been told by our council that, with one exception, we do not have to move as a board, that it's within the discretion of the chair to make these appointments, subject to the willingness of our members to serve. And so they have been checked with. So our standing committees that will be serving right now are Investment Committee, and we need one appointee, and Eric has been good enough to accept that position, so we will thank you for doing that. Our INYO LA commission, our committee, Jonathan Parfrey has agreed to continue to serve on that. We do have one other opening, so if there's any other commissioner that, and we'll be talking to Commissioner Noonan when she comes on board on that one to see if she has an interest or the time to serve on that. It's a very important committee, but it does require some travel. The Personal Relations Committee, Jonathan Parfrey has agreed to chair that, and Christina Noonan will be serving on that committee. And the Retirement Board, which will require a motion to represent our board, Christina Noonan has agreed to serve on that committee as our representatives, as many of us have been conflicted out or just unable to do that. So with that, may we have a motion, if it's appropriate, to confirm Christina Noonan as the Retirement Board representative for our commission.
Move the item.
Is there a second?
There is?
Objections or abstentions? Seeing, hearing none, it carries unanimously. We will have ad hoc committees which will meet on an ad hoc basis. One will be the audit committee, and on that Tom will serve as our chair, and we actually only need one member on that committee, Tom, so that will be you. And if we need a second, I'll serve with you. The Customer and Community Relations Committee, it will be, I will be serving on that committee, and Tom will be chairing that committee. And please forgive me for using first names. It's just quicker that way, and that's how we know each other. And our Economic Development Committee will be chaired by Eric. Thank you for doing that. And Tom will be serving on our Economic Development Committee. And I will be chairing our Security and Emergency Preparedness Committee, and Jonathan will be serving on that committee. Some of you may have, I know that there have been questions in the past from the public regarding Contracts Committee and other types of committees, and the importance in looking at these issues. What we have found is that if there's another committee that needs to be appointed, we certainly will internally discuss that. We certainly will hear from the public on their opinions and make decisions that we hope are appropriate. But we only have so much time as commissioners, and we have to be able to put that into our into the very best possible use. And what we found is that our Contracts Committee has been, in some instances, very redundant to what we do here in the board, in that each member of the board, when it involves entering into our contracts, receives the same contracts, reviews the contracts. We comment them at the board meetings. We have actually many members of the public who comment on them at the board meeting, and some do not comment at them, nor are they at the committee meeting. So we may have recommendations for passing, approving contracts that ultimately, when we come to the board level, we either don't approve because there are some things we don't know, or we've had some important information given to us by the public. So I don't want you to think that we don't think that that's an important committee. We think our contracts are very important in terms of what we do, and we just believe we're going to do that out here in public at our commission meetings with all of our commissioners involving themselves in each contract as it comes forward, as they find a need to, or our public will certainly tell us what contracts they perceive are important, and we will go through them and discuss them in some detail. So that will be the nature of the committee structure that we have. We do have an agenda item number 40, is it? Are we honoring one more? 40 year?
No, that one, though, no presentation.
No present. Do we need a motion on that?
Yeah, for that one, yeah, that's it, included in the first group of,
It's a
All
consent
right,
item.
well, yes, it's the number 6 as a consent item, but I don't, I really want to pull that out, even though we have no presentation, because Mr. Benny Cola has worked as a commercial field rep for customer service and has completed 40 years of service in the department. He is already retired. He did not necessarily wish to have a formal presentation made where he came up and had his picture taken and did other things such as this. It's just a personal preference. But we do want to honor him separate and independent for all the work and effort that he has committed. He has his resolution, or we'll get it shortly, and we'll also have his 40-year pin. So I'd like to separately move to approve a resolution honoring Mr. Benny Cola, Jr., and thank him for his years of service. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any objections or abstentions? None, seeing and hearing none, carries unanimously. And please, Barbara or whomever is going to be meeting with Mr. Cola, express to him our Commission's thanks for the 40 years of great service that he has provided to this department, and please wish him well in terms of retirement. The next item that we have is public comment. Do we have any general public comment that is not comment on specific items, but that is general public comment that we might have involving matters of the department? Hearing and seeing none.
no, I do have 4 cards.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Sorry.
let's call them.
Okay. Okay. The first card is Alan Babcock,
Yeah.
and then the second speaker is Dr. Clyde Williams.
Dr. Williams, I was just testing you to see if you're awake.
Manahu Idabua. My name is Alan Baycock. I'm from the Big Pine Paiute tribe, located in the Owens Valley. I traveled down from our beautiful valley to be able to be with you this morning to talk about the Big Pine Regreening Project, which was recently approved. At least the revision was recently approved by the Inuit LA Standing Committee on August 27th. And the tribe had made some comments regarding this project. The biggest being that it objects to providing makeup water for this project. The DWP was required to do this project as a mitigation measure because of the enormous amounts of groundwater pumping down in the Big Pine area. In fact, this year, DWP will be pumping 28,500 acre-feet of water out of the Big Pine well field. And this project, as proposed, it's going to cause additional drawdowns to our water table. And I believe that is an environmental justice issue to our tribe, to our reservation. And not only is our tribe commented and objected to the use of this makeup water, but also the town, the community at large has done that as well. At the standing committee meeting, I had given a petition from 15% of those over the age of 18. I only had a week and a half to be able to prepare that, but in that time period was able to overwhelmingly get a response that people in Big Pine did not want to see groundwater pumping happening for this project. And I believe that moving forward with the pumping makes this not mitigation, but just continued drawdown to our water table, which has already been hurt our people in many ways, making vegetation that we used to use constantly not able to do. Another comment on that was I'm here today because no one from the Department of Water and Power commissioners were at that standing committee meeting. And so I felt it was important to be able to come and to share with you the concerns of the tribe and to show our concern that no one was able to attend that meeting on behalf of the commissioners here. There was also no one there from the city council. And that just raises concerns for me as a person living and existing in the Owens Valley area, that the city of LA has not moved forward to assist us in being able to protect our environment.
Could you wrap up your remarks, please?
Sure. I just would like to end by saying that the mayor back in 2006 said at the LORP that this is the beginning of a new chapter that will lead us to a real partnership between the city, LADWP, and Neal County, and the citizens of the valley. And I think that in order to really move forward with these mitigation projects, we should do it in a way that benefits the environment and doesn't continue to hurt it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. I do want you to know that, however, two things, sir. One was that we did receive a letter from the tribe expressing those same concerns. It came late last week. We immediately got a written response out to the tribe. You may not have seen it yet because of the long holiday weekend. And second, that Mr. Parfrey, who is our commissioner, who is assigned to Inyo, had actually spent 2 days before briefing to be up there, and he took ill on that day.
It's true.
You know, and he was not able to be there. So
I apologize. I wish I were there.
You do have our interest, and our other commissioner who had been assigned to that previously is no longer a commissioner in this department, and we are seeking to find someone, as I mentioned in some of my remarks in our commission appointments, to see if there is someone else on the commission who might have the time to be able to attend the meetings, you know, and be informed, and we'll do our best to have someone do that. And I know the City Council also is in the process of working with your organization, with the tribe, to have some representative there from the City Council. So thank you for your concerns. Okay, next speaker is Dr. Williams. Sir?
Dr. Clyde Williams, 4115 Barrett Road, El Sereno, Northeast LA. I didn't know that you were going to have a presentation regarding strategic plan. You mentioned strategic plan. Where is it at? It's been around for now, what, 3 years? It's been a year since the last presentation regarding the draft strategic plan. We're doing all sorts of strategies and all sorts of things. And in fact, it was talking about strategic operating requirements. But you first have to know what the current state is. Do we know what the current state is regarding coal, regarding Hyperion and recycled water, regarding reliability? In City Council, we had a discussion. Well, it's not 300-year replacement on the water pipes, it's 290 years replacement. Is this reliable? Is this a part of the strategic plan? Is coal replacement, that is, we just sell off the contracts to somebody else to use the coal-fired power plant, but we'll be clean, but will we? Because what will we have as replacement for 40%? Oh, it's base load. That's either nukes or geothermal. But what happened to the Imperial Valley geothermal? We haven't heard much about it. So where is this strategic plan that the earlier presentation is based upon? I don't know. We can't see it. We don't know what's in it. We don't know how it relates to coal. We don't know how it relates to geothermal, to nukes, to the Hyperion recycle, which is the bigger water, 50,000 acre feet. That's San Fernando Valley. But the real one is Hyperion. If you don't recycle Hyperion, hey, it's not much. So how can you identify gaps and opportunities if you don't have the gold? In the earlier presentation, there were gaps and opportunities. But if you don't know where you're going, how do you identify what the gaps and what the opportunities are? Please get a strategic plan, draft or otherwise, update it so that we know how all of these pieces fit into it. Thank you.
Okay, next comment.
Next speaker is Tony Wilkinson, and after that, Candida Morris.
Hello, Tony Wilkinson, Chair of the Neighborhood Council, Department of Water and Power Memorandum of Understanding Oversight Committee. We've had an opportunity while the Commission was dark last month to do lots and lots of work, and I see the department. I can't tell you how excited I am at this presentation on management change and development, because although I notice there's an awful lot of focus on cost savings, there are so many things involved in the presentation this morning that have to do with effectiveness and a change in the relationship with our customers. For example, the customer information system is not just money saving, but a change in the whole way that customers perceive the department. I've been privileged to see some of the changes that are coming. As a former guy who used to run a technical staff in mainframe department, I don't, along with Mr. Butner, this is not an easy change. It's a huge change, but the department is taking it on in a very cautious way, and at the same time it has great objectives. And I think that the management, one of the things that I see as I have an opportunity to go around and talk to the department is the excellence in this department and staff. We see it in the people who are retiring. And one of the things is it tends to be in silos. And I love the cross-discipline project approach in this new management approach, because I think that if we can build on the excellence that we have in cross-disciplinary teams, and I saw some of that in the Smart Grid initiative, thank you very much, an opportunity to take a look at that. And the $60 million matching grant, I can't overestimate how important that is, the work that's going to come out of that to fundamentally change our system, again, based on excellence that's already in the department. I want to comment on thank you very much for standing up for ratepayers, and once through cooling. I have cooled down and have been assured by the Government Affairs team that we are working with our regulators in a way to achieve those objectives cooperatively, in a way that we will meet both the water objectives and also the customer rate objectives in terms of deferring it. And one last thing, I realize I'm over my time, but I am concerned about the glacial pace of the department's ratepayer advocate committee, which won't meet again until September 23rd. Meanwhile, the City Council is out having 7 meetings around town on the issue. I really do think that the department has an opportunity to positively affect that, but I am concerned that if we delay too much on this effort, where you guys sent it back and said, look, there's nothing in the proposal that says what these people are supposed to do. I remember Commissioner Holloman said, well, it seems to me that you guys ought to figure out what he does before we decide how much we're going to pay for it. That this really, I would like to see it positively affect what's going on in the City Council and not come late and then turn out to be a conflict between the City Council and the board and the department, and we don't need that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments, sir. Next.
Next speaker is Candido Morez.
Good morning, Commissioners. I too would like to thank Ms. Norma Castillo and Bernie Cola for their 40 years of dedication. That is something that I think all of us know takes place at DWP, that we have dedicated workers here that really serve the ratepayers of this great city. This weekend we had 2 meetings with large groups of ratepayers and community active groups, and the one thing that we all agreed upon is that we appreciate the hard work that the good DWP worker does for us, and that we want to make sure that they're protected and that they know that they're appreciated. So again, thank you. I want to thank them for those 40 years. At first I was very happy to see the reports that were given, especially about the supply chain and the fact that in 2008 Scott Madden had given a report. I was actually given a copy of that report, and it looked very promising. We have a new head of the supply chain. He seems to be doing a great job. Again, this new report shows that there have been improvements, but when you talk about not having a contract committee, I mean, the biggest waste, fraud, and abuse takes place in those contracts. And how can we not have a committee to really study that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the DWP Advocacy Committee to form a contract committee. We have a lot of people who used to work at DWP who are giving us information and things that we are learning about the way the things work around here. So I am going to suggest that at the next meeting. And again, it's not to challenge the commission or anybody else, but to make sure that we protect the DWP workers who report waste, fraud, and abuse. Enough is enough. It's gone. We've come too far. We've come too far. This not having a contract committee is like going back to 2004 when the commission was here, and I don't even want to name the names who were there, but it was like a joke. We would have a meeting within like 45 minutes to an hour, and then we're all having cocktails. That isn't going to happen again. That isn't going to happen. The ratepayers we're out there. It's active, but we appreciate what's taking place, the changes, but we're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that all DWP workers who are willing to stand up and make savings are protected and that we do the best for the city. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you for your comments. Any other comments on number 4?
No more speaker cards for number
Okay.
4.
There being none, I will go through those items that either have not filed us for a speaker card or we've not heard from the commissioners who want to be pulled. Item number 5, item number 8, item number 6 has been already taken care of. Item number 7, there's a speaker card. So we've got 5 and 8. We have 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 13, and we then go to 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33. Are there any of those items that any of the commissioners wish to pull for discussion?
I have a question on 12.
On 12, all right. Let's move 12.
Very quickly.
Okay. Any other items? Then is there a motion to...
I would like to move the items that you said.
Second.
Is there any objections or abstentions? Carries unanimously. Those items are approved. Let's start the track. I think our first item is number 7. And we have a speaker card on that.
Yes, we have one speaker card for number 7, Candido Merez.
Mr. Merez, would you like to speak to that item, please?
Thank you, Commissioners. Here again is item 7 is spec number 129 to furnish and deliver waterwork fittings awarded to Cambridge Brass Incorporated for a total amount not to exceed $12,415,000 and change.
I think that's 12 million.
Excuse me, sir. Thank you. Those big numbers. 12 million. I apologize. Over $12 million, and it's for one term with 2 optional 1-year terms. Now, there again, we're going to extend a contract for almost $36 million over 3 years. What if the prices change? Are we going to be held to the same price? And the thing that caught me about this was brass. I can take you to one of your warehouses, one of your yards, and I can show you a warehouse full of brass, water fittings, that no one is using. What are we going to do with all those fittings? Again, what's going to happen to those? It'll probably go to salvage. What will happen with that? When it goes to salvage, the ratepayers will lose because they paid top dollar for those brass fittings, and who's going to buy it? Are we going to have DWP workers buying that brass? Is it going to be sold to a scrap metal company who pays pennies on the dollars? These are just questions that need to be answered. And again, this is where the waste, fraud, and abuse takes place. And we're still looking the other way, aren't we? Thank you for the time.
Sure. Any other speakers on that?
That was the last card for 7.
And perhaps after the meeting or at some other time, you could let us know where this warehouse is that you are aware of that has brass. Give it to the department, not right now, so that we're not using, because if it is there, I'm sure we'd want to know about it.
Sir, I would do that only if you would guarantee that the people that report it would not be abused and fired.
Well, you're the one that would be telling. You're the one.
You and I want to go there, sir, and we can.
No, you're the one. You're the one that would be reporting it to us.
Absolutely. And the last time someone came to me and reported fraud, waste, and contract, they canceled the contract in 2004. They were fired.
Okay, if you're comfortable with reporting it to the department, we would be more than willing to accept it. The next, is there any presentation from the department on that? Seeing and hearing none. Any commissioners have any question? Is there a motion to approve that item?
Could someone explain the outreach efforts? I don't understand what we say here.
Sure. Please.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Jonathan Leon, Water Distribution. In case you all are curious, this is the brass that we put in, connected to the main line, and actually goes out to the services. So just a little show and tell. But what happens with this contract, we're looking for vendors that provide materials that are compliant with the AWWA regulations as well as the NSF 61 regulations. That's a health industry standard. So we've got 3 vendors. Actually, those are one's located in Canada, one's located in Illinois, and one's located in Iowa. Good or bad, the market economics, they prefer that geographically central location so that they can distribute to various points throughout North America. Now, we were approached and we worked fairly closely with a manufacturer who's based out here in Los Angeles. We spent about 3 or 4 months with them trying to develop a product, an ingot. An ingot's like the raw material, base of the brass, that would be compliant with the water quality and chemistry standards that we were looking for. Unfortunately, they were a little bit high in the silicone content. That leads to dezinkification in the water supply. So at this point in time, they're going to have to look and improve that product. But the other things, in terms of the outreach, we're at least very excited that all the manufacturers who do make a product were able to submit a bid on this particular contract, because we were very emphatic with them that we wanted them an opportunity to try to bid on this contract.
But none of the local vendor just could not meet the
Right,
spec.
and we have water quality experts that, in fact, one of our PhDs is probably internationally renowned for his work on lead-free fittings. So from the standpoint of our compliance with the NSF standards and our own standards, we'll continue to work with them, and hopefully in the near future, they will have a base material product that would be compatible and we could start seeing their bid.
Have the standards changed over the last few years?
Off the top of my head, there hasn't been too much of a change, but I think certainly in our operating permits, there's a lot more push to have that NSF 61 approved products in all parts of our potable system.
Are these off-the-shelf items, or are they custom?
They're fairly custom. You start with a base material, they melt that down, and then they fabricate the various fittings. Now, also important is the compatibility standpoints, because on an assembly there could be multiple items that you're connecting up until you reach the point of the service meter, and you want to make sure again you have nice watertight fittings. If not, you're going to get service leaks and main leaks as well.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? If there's none, is there a motion on this particular item number 7?
There is.
Is there to approve?
To approve.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Any objections or abstentions? Seeing and hearing none, it carries unanimously. This does bring to question one item that I'd like to ask our department to follow up on and report to us as and if appropriate. Many months ago, I don't even know if it was a year ago now, but it was many months ago at least, the Board of Commissioners passed a resolution that was to provide a preference to those companies who were bidding on contracts who were doing business in Los Angeles County, because we were informed by the City Attorney's Office that if there was to be a preference, it could not be for Los Angeles City. It had to be for Los Angeles County as a result of our charter. That was sent on to the City Attorney's Office. It sat in the City Attorney's Office, not our City Attorney's Office here in DWP, but over the hill or down the hill for some time. It finally came out of the City Attorney's Office, was sent, we were told, to City Hall, somewhere in the Mayor's office or the City Council's office, and there it has sat for many months while we as a commission have been struggling and trying to provide a preference for those who are doing business within the city and county of Los Angeles as for purposes of employment and other kinds of things that you are very responsible for. We were told months ago that it was sitting at in City Hall somewhere because the city decided they liked it, but they wanted to expand it and broaden it to other areas. But in the meantime, we're a proprietary department. If we can start here, we would like to start here and begin to provide that kind of preference. And so could someone please report back to us from our senior management on the status of that particular issue at our next meeting?
Yeah, we'll do that, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you very much. The next item that I have agendized is item number 12. And I believe that Tom, Commissioner Sales, suggested that he had a question on it.
Did we reach out to any of the local dealerships? I mean, I understand the economics of this, it makes sense. But we're going to cut a deal with the Sacramento company where there are LA companies that participate.
That's a good question. What this is a piggyback off of the state contract.
Could you identify yourself, please?
Pete Saturco with Fleet Services. So what we've done in essence is looked at any available contracts, state or city contracts, that has obviously a cost reduction that we are able to piggyback off of. And so that's the
So the theory is you'll get a bigger volumetric discount because
exactly. Exactly. A lot of times, a lot of these state contracts will have embedded funds that we're required to pay as piggybacking off of it, and where this one does not. So.
But do you know that we couldn't get a better deal with a local dealer? That's the
Oh,
question.
you can't. We have contacted let's put it, we've contacted the vendors that have done business with us in the past and thrown this number at them, and they couldn't effectively say that we could meet that. It is a very deep discount.
Because of the volume.
Right.
Okay.
Did we actually get a bid from those local dealerships? Or
No, we did not.
They just intimated the fact that they weren't.
Yeah,
able
they
to-
just, you talk to their fleet managers, if you would, with a cost estimate. And
In what jurisdiction is the sales tax credited in?
that's in LA, in our jurisdiction. And there's also an additional discount on top of that, too, early pay discount, which is about $80,000 on top of that.
No further questions.
Okay, is there a motion on that?
Move the item.
Is there a second? Second. Any objections or abstentions? Seeing and hearing none, carries unanimously. Thank you for the presentation. We'll next move to item number 14. We have a speaker card on item number 14.
Yes, item number 14, the speaker cards for Dr. Clyde Williams.
Dr. Williams, 2 minutes, please.
Dr. Clyde Williams, El Sereno, Northeast LA. Simple one. What is the scope of this project, or this particular agreement? Don't know. It's difficult to find out. But it's only a change of almost 200% increase in the cost of the agreement. What happened? It's for the same period, 3 years. So that means that whoever he is has to spend a lot of money during the next 15 months. Seems disproportionate. Seems without any scope of work schedule. What's the deliverables from this? It sounds like it's just all discussion. So maybe DWP needs such people. I don't know. But am I say a ratepayer's advocate? Well, this isn't very much money. It's only $400,000. So maybe the ratepayer's advocate would not even be interested in such a small amount. But $200,000 over a 1-year period sounds like something changed significantly. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments, sir. Anyone from the department that...
I do have one more speaker card that was turned in
Okay, thank you.
for Candido Merez.
Thank you, Commissioners. I just hope I don't get thrown out for speaking out again. This is about contracts and agreements. We just saw in the last one $36 million contract, and the thing that I stated was staff would come up here and say certain things, you folks would agree with them, approved, $36 million contract. Again, that is why we need a contract committee. We need more input.
Okay, any other speakers?
That was the last card for 14.
All right,
I'd like to approve item 14, please.
Any second questions, objections, or second? That has been motion to approve in the second. Objections or abstentions? Seeing, hearing none, it carries unanimously. Item number 15, we have a speaker on that.
Yeah, the speaker for 15 is Dr. Clyde Williams.
Dr. Williams?
Hi, Dr. Clyde Williams, El Sereno, Northeast LA. The Board of Public Works usually does these things. In fact, they have a Green Street initiative, big program. Why is there so little coordination between DWP and DPW? I don't know. It seems kind of strange. However, being on the LID group, advisory group, and being on, might say, other Green Street related projects, there seems to be one misconception. Rain barrels are not effective. A typical house generates about 400 gallons of water in a typical design storm. A 55-gallon drum, 2 55-gallon drums don't do much at all. So in good engineering, measures should be effective if you're going to recharge the groundwater table, if you're going to divert stormwater to beneficial uses. I need about 1,600 gallons of capacity, and I can get that through various recycled containers. So it seems like this is, number one, participating in something that some other department has jurisdiction over. Maybe you have the money, they don't. I don't know. But the Propo, the LID, Green Streets are all under Board of Public Works. So shouldn't there be at least some sort of semblance as to, is there a memorandum of understanding between DWP and the Board of Public Works? I don't know. Thank you.
Any questions? Any comments from the commissioners?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank staff for moving this project forward. It looks innovative and smart, and the cooperation between city departments is a good thing to see.
Any other questions or comments from the commissioners? Is there a motion?
There is.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any objections or abstentions? Seeing and hearing none, carries unanimously. Our next item is number 16. We have a speaker card on that.
Yeah, the speaker for item 16 is Dr. Clyde Williams.
Dr. Williams?
Water rate adjustments. Dr. Clyde Williams, El Sereno. Water rate adjustments, adjustment factor. At the end of this adjustment factor, will the rate come back down to its current status? I don't know. It seems like this is almost like the energy adjustment factor. So, water rates. You're actually just approving a water rate increase. So, why not include additional water tiers, water rate tiers for the top 25 percentile versus the lower 25 percentile? It doesn't really do much for me because our household consumption is only about 50 to 60 gallons per person per day. So tier 2 should be increased. There should be a further increase in maybe a new tier 3, tier 4, so that you have real conservation pricing. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions, comments? For speakers?
No more cards.
Item number 16. Any questions or comments from the commission? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Objections or abstentions? Hearing, seeing none, carries unanimously. The next item I have for discussion is item number 20, and we have a speaker on that as well.
Yeah, the speaker for item number 20 is Dr. Clyde Williams.
Dr. Williams, item number 20.
Last one, I hope. Dr. Clyde Williams, El Sereno. Personnel resolution. It was interesting to see what the price ranges were for labor in DWP. One of the interesting elements is the comparison of the forecasted or planned ratepayers advocate versus an auditor. The auditors get an average between high and low of $18,000 a month. What's the difference between a ratepayers advocate and an auditor? Not much, but a ratepayers advocate was only going to get $300,000 per year, so that gives one person plus maybe a secretary to help. So it seems interesting to see the cost and how much various people are getting, using the range, of course, and the considerable differences between various levels. it would be nice to have an organization chart to go with it to see where the costs are. Thank you.
Okay, that was the last card for number 20.
Okay.
Move the item.
Is a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any objections or abstentions? Seeing, hearing none, carried unanimously. We'll move on then to our next item. The next item that I show for discussion purposes is item number 35.
Yes.
Okay, is there,
I don't have any speaker cards for number 35.
okay, are there any questions or comments from the commissioners on item number 35? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Move the item.
Is there a second?
Second.
Objections or abstentions? Seeing, hearing none, carries unanimously. Item number 36.
I do have one speaker card for item 36.
Okay.
The speaker is Dr. Clyde Williams.
I think there will be one more. Dr. Clyde Williams, El Sereno. This is actually also tied to item 27, which has been deferred. So, tenants. Tenants are going to be given the right to make improvements to land and facilities that are not owned by them. Interesting. How will this work? I know over in the Public Works, they have a problem with that because you got to get a building permit. And so what we're concerned about is this being focused to multi-family residential units? Is it being focused on the commercial tenants, industrial tenants? I don't know. But it seems like to separate it from the ownership of the property has a lot of ramifications as to who's going to control it. Does the owner of the property have to give approval anyway? I think so. It seems very complicated, but that's fairly characteristic of BWP, because I know for a single-family dwelling, I have a lot of problems going in and putting in solar panels because I conserve too much. I have a 30-year repayment period. So I think this should be, might say, re-reviewed and essentially relate to the owners of the property, because they will eventually have responsibility. What happens when the tenant moves? I don't know. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
I do have one more speaker card that was
Yes.
turned in for Tony Wilkinson.
Mr. Wilkinson? And then you have a comment.
Tony Wilkinson, the Neighborhood Council of DWP MOU Oversight Committee. The tremendous initiatives that we've got in green power and moving forward, I'm excited about. And this is an opportunity to involve more people in the ability to green their leasehold, if you will. But one of the concerns that I have about many of these is going to be true of feed-in tariff too. We're talking of a significant amount, an unknown amount of money. This, if anything, cried out for, like in many legislative bodies, you have an estimated fiscal impact. This loan program for an unknown amount of money to an unknown number of people could take money away from many of our other green and both water and power initiatives, because there's only so much money to go around, and we're putting some money into loans long term. So I think that the fiscal impact of this is important. There are the issues that may complicate payback too, that Dr. Williams mentioned, but I'm really concerned about how much this is going to be and how much it will affect our other green initiatives. Thank you.
Okay. Any other speakers?
That was the last speaker card.
Commissioner Sales?
Yeah, I had the same question Dr. Oden did. Could someone explain to me how this actually works, particularly once a tenant moves out?
Good morning, Commissioners. Kelly Bernard, Director of Economic Development. I I have with me Chris Moser, who has been working with the Economic Development Group as the interim manager. And we hope to answer your questions. First, what you have before you is a program that dates back to 1998. It's been amended a few times. Today's amendment is to broaden the applicant pool. Currently, it is limited only to account holders of record. We are looking to broaden that to allow tenants who may not be the account holders, but who utilize the department services and who are customers. And so that they will be able to make the loan available to them if they qualify. This program can be a powerful.
Let me ask a question about this. So we're talking about a situation where you have a single meter for a multi-unit development.
Absolutely. You have office buildings downtown where there's maybe only a single meter, and you have several different tenants in a building. We have a couple of cases that we are reviewing now, or applicants that we're reviewing now, and it came to our attention that while they are customers only, they are not account holders of records. There's one meter, and the cost of putting in individual meters is just prohibitive. And so we would like to expand this to allow them to become applicants. To Mr. Wilkinson's questions about the fiscal impact of this, there is a limit of $15 million for the entire loan portfolio. So at no given time can the number of loans or the amount of the loans exceed $15 million. And as you have before you, any loan that's more than $150,000, individual loans will come before this board for approval.
So under the current system, can the record holder actually apply for a loan on behalf of the tenants?
Yes, they are. Yes, they can currently. And oftentimes that's what we have been doing. Thus far, you go to the landlord and ask if they are willing to co-sign for the tenant. And as it's written now, and as it will continue to be, the applicant must remain a customer of the departments for as long as for the entire term of the loan.
What happens if they leave?
I'm sorry?
What happens if the tenant leaves? They just decide on day 2, I'm done. I'm moving someplace else.
Then the loan becomes payable immediately. And working with Mario and his group, we have developed, they are currently strict repayment. There's personal guarantees. There's other assets that we can go at other than just the flipping of the switch. If you are not, the landlord will flip the switch. As with any underwriting, you go through and you come up with personal guarantees. Most of them will have to provide that. So we have other recourse to make sure that the department's assets are protected and we get repaid. In the life of the loan, of the life of this program, there's only been one instance where we have not gotten regular repayments on this, and that we've had to go out, and we did, in that instance, we did go after the delinquent applicant or the loan recipient, and we were able to receive judgment and payment for that. So in the history, the program has been very good about making sure that the department gets repaid.
Ms. Bernard?
But those were not tenants, right? Those were the record holders.
Those were the record holders, yes.
So those were owners of the property.
Yes.
So, I'm very well aware of the problems that we have with multifamily units, and we've had a refrigerator replacement program that's focused in on single-family residences, and we've identified, I think it's around 50,000 households that have qualified for refrigerator replacement, but from my understanding, there's about 400,000 potential applicants for the refrigerator replacement from multifamily dwellings. Is that accurate?
I can't answer that.
Yeah, as far as the refrigerator rebate program, I'm not familiar with those numbers.
But regardless, perhaps you could enlighten us as to what projects this would fund, this loan program. Would this be lighting replacement? Would this be replacement of air conditioners, refrigerators? Could you tell us what this is actually going towards, and how the system works, and how the loans work, and how they're repaid?
Sure.
Yeah, these are primarily, and historically they've been for infrastructure loans where customers will move into a business and they'll need infrastructure upgrades, and there are requirements required by the department to do that, so we assist the customers with a low-interest loan over 10 years so that they can make those payments, get up and running, and get into business. We've also been doing it for, yes, energy efficiency loans, primarily commercial. You'll have some cafes, maybe you'll have some large office buildings that'll do this. So it's lighting upgrades, maybe doing some motor upgrades, air conditioning upgrades. We have a customer right now who has a data warehouse. They do not, they are not the customer of record. And so the management company sometimes will have their name on the meter. They're not necessarily the owners of the building, but they'll be the management company that pays the bills. This customer has businesses elsewhere. His name's just not on that meter. So I feel we should be able to make loans to people who are customers of the department, maybe just not at that specific site.
And Commissioner, this program is limited to commercial.
I see. Thank you.
When we make these loans that we've been able to collect all but one on, do we take the property as security?
We have that ability through the personal guarantees, yes.
Personal guarantee is different than taking the property as security. Do we take the actual property, the real estate, as security for that loan?
Collateralized loans are asked.
Yes, they are collateralized.
Okay, and how do we do that with someone who's not an owner of the property?
We look to other properties that they may have as well, and so we can collateralize
And if they own no other properties?
Then it's the personal guarantees.
Which is worth about as much as...
The person is worth.
Yeah. I mean, there's no consent required to the by the landowner in order for us to grant this loan to the tenant?
Not as proposed. Under the current program, before we were going to extend it to the tenant, then the landlord would have to sign on, yes.
Do we review the tenant's leases to determine whether or not, in this instance, the tenant has a right to add these types of...
They must have the ability to have the right, and the lease must be longer than the length of the loan.
Okay, and who makes that determination? Who reviews that? Is that legal? Is that someone in your department? Is it?
No, we'll be working with FSO. They are financial services. We will be working with them. We market and collect the applications, and then it's underwritten by FSO.
But are there, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Are there published policies around the underwriting criteria, liquidity ratios, quality of assets, those types of things? Or is it kind of nebulous in terms of how we underwrite and how we approve?
We have a credit group in financial services organization, and they analyze the data that they get based on the application, as well as financial statements that the firms can provide.
Great. And then of the 15 million cap, how much is outstanding today?
About 600,000.
600,000?
Yeah.
So this isn't very used. I mean, this isn't something that too many people take advantage of.
Historically, no.
You know, I don't know if this needs to go back for more work or not. I'm concerned about the fact that we will not have, the appropriate security under certain circumstances to be able to securitize the loan that we would have if there was an owner. Personal guarantees, as Commissioner Sales suggested, are worth the value of the person who has them, and if they default on them, that means they've got a problem financially usually.
Commissioner, may I ask John Chen to speak a little bit on this? He used to head up this effort before, and I think he can add some value to the discussion. So, John.
This loan program was started in the early 2000s. I think the overall volume with the over, probably there's maybe $600,000 still on the book in the balance, but we did over $6 to $7 million of loan to small businesses. And a lot of times business moving to property, and in the past, they do qualify to apply for a loan, but they have to be individually metered. So they have to be the owner of that particular meter. So if a business moving to, let's say, Unit A of this particular building, and if they're paying for Unit A of that building with Department of Water and Power, then they do qualify for the loan. It's best that we get landlords or owner of the property involved, but not necessarily in the past has to. get involved. Mario's group in the past has performed the financial analysis. Loan can come in terms of liens on the property, personal guarantees, depending on how strong the business is or the personal financial of the condition of the applicant. In addition to that, there's oftentimes there are equipment on this type of loan. Let's say if you install a HVAC system, I mean, you're not going to take it with you if you do go. So there are values of those heavy equipments, and sometimes you can put a lien on those equipment too. So there are multiple ways, and in the past, I think they still do. They work very closely with financial services organization, the risk manager, to actually do a very detailed analysis of each of those loan applicant requests. And then it does come to the board for final approval, so you can evaluate the credit scores and all the other things that they take into consideration.
All the loans come before this body?
And anything above 150,000, that comes to the. But in the past also, previous commissioner had mandated every loan come to here, and we in the past we have done that too.
Yeah, that was, I think, Mr. Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Perhaps we should ask Mr. Brown, do you see any, or do you know of any other way we could better protect ourselves to ensure repayment based upon what you've been hearing?
You could have the record holder guarantee it.
Yeah, for sure.
Have we tried that as an approach? Asking the record owner to actually guarantee the loan.
There's an outstanding applicant now, and I believe the record holder, we have asked the record holder to guarantee it, and
see, under those circumstances, I'd be comfortable.
I agree, if that were a condition of the loan, that the record holder, the holder of title guarantee.
They're the ultimate beneficiary of the loan, right? They're the improvement.
Yes, that's right.
My question is, why would they guarantee it, though?
Because they get the benefit, whether not this tenor or the next tenor.
No, I understand that.
It passes with the property, theoretically, right? The question is, why wouldn't they?
But they could be uninterested in any improvements, where the tenant could be interested in the improvements. And
the
I think that's
replacement
the
tenant could be
question.
uninterested as well, so they may not necessarily recover the value.
But if it reduces the cost ultimately, right? The theory here is you're going to reduce your
In
utility
theory.
rates, right?
In theory, yes.
Well, I think part of the issues that we're debating is we want to help people get the loan, we want to help put the program through, but as, a commission and as board members, this is public money, and it's department money, and we need to do our best to protect the interests of the department funds that go out, to make certain that we've taken the proper due diligence or used the best, practices to be able to secure these dollars, as we were doing them ourselves to some degree. And that's why I think you're getting all these questions, is that, this is not free money. This is money that we intend to get back, expect to get back, and want to be able to secure and get back. And that's, I think, what you're hearing some of the commissioners ask for you. Is there something else that we can do, and should we send this back to, for example, either, as Commissioner Sales suggested, his recommendation, or others?
Yeah, see, I think all we want to know is if the loan is adequately collateralized, whether or not it's through the record owner or through other assets, but somehow someone needs to say to us, we've got a reasonable likelihood of payback of this loan. Right? That's
Historically, it's been looked at by case-by-case basis. And obviously, I've been satisfied, and I think the other city attorneys obviously have been satisfied in all those cases where we were able to get a secured loan or loan on equipment, where you have a situation where somebody needs the money, cannot get the landlord because the landlord doesn't want the additional liability, is disinterested. Once again, we look at it a case-by-case basis. We see the size of the loan. We look at the personal assets, and then we make a decision. We've had situations, I'm only aware of one loan that we had a problem, but it was well collateralized, and I think we threatened a lawsuit, and we settled. But the case is, I think Mario's group has looked at it, and I think we've been comfortable with it, and when there is discomfort, we discuss it, and sometimes we'll walk.
The applications weren't that well perused, then there would be more outstanding. The market would take advantage of this more if it were easy money. $600,000 on $15 million means that we are, there's something behind this that makes it difficult to attain.
Well, it could be the collateralization that has created the repayment.
Which means we're probably okay.
Yeah.
But maybe if someone from FSO could take us through the underwriting criteria, could give the commission some comfort. Not necessarily today.
Do you want to defer this then till our next meeting? So we can have someone express that, provide it to us. So is there a motion to defer until the next meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second? Any objections or abstentions? Carries unanimously. Deferred to the next meeting.
Thank you.
And in the meantime, if you can come up with something creative that might assist us in any other way to bring it back to us. All right, so Barbara, where are we now? Item number
37?
37, thank you. Any questions or comments by the commissioners on this one? Is there a motion to approve?
Move the item.
Is there a second?
Second.
Objections or abstentions? Carries unanimously. Item number 38, we've done. You just can do it under item number 38. CFO reports.
We have filed items 39 and 40.
Okay, it should be being filed under 41, closed session. Any reports I'm missing? Anyone else need to give reports? And we will take a break for about 10-15 minutes, and we'll go into closed session. Mr. City Attorney, would you read your comments?
The board shall publicly report any action taken in closed session and the vote or abstention of every member present thereon in accordance with Section 54 and 957.1 of the California Government Code.
Okay, thank you. And anyone not involved in the department in the closed session items, please feel free to leave. Will be closed session, and we'll just take a break.
This is to report after the Board of Water and Power Commissioners closed session for September 7, 2010. On September 7, 2010, the Board of Water and Power Commissioners, by a 4-0 vote, approved a settlement of the following closed session item. Item number 41A2, Michael Grinner versus Los Angeles Department of Water and Power Workers' Compensation Claim, number 2007-00733, WCAB case number ADJ 1675601, and MON 353079. The settlement was for $134,176.98 plus $77.31 a week post-settlement. On September 7, 2010, the Board of Water and Power Commissioners, by a 4-0 vote, approved a claim for the following closed session item. Item number 41A3, Donald L. Rosecrans versus Los Angeles Department of Water and Power Workers' Compensation Claim number 2001-00116 ECAB case number to be assigned. The amount for the claim was $120,865 plus $81.17 per week lifetime post-settlement. On September 7, 2010, the Board of Water and Power Commissioners, by a 4-0 vote, approved a claim of the following closed session item. Item number 41A4, James Roberts Sr. versus Los Angeles Department of Water and Power Workers' Compensation Claim number 2002-00143, WCAB case number ADJ 3204093, and VNO 0476641. For a $118,795 plus $153.65 per week lifetime pension post-settlement. On September 7, 2010, the Board of Water and Power Commissioners, by a 4-0 vote, approved a settlement of the following closed session item. Item number 41A5, lawsuit entitled DeJeffrey Semplez versus City of Los Angeles Superior Court case number BC 386440. The settlement was for a total of $405,000 and includes all claims, damages, costs, and attorney's fees arising out of the lawsuit. The lawsuit was a disability discrimination and retaliation case based on events occurring in 2006 through 2009. On September 7, 2010, the Board of Water and Power Commissioners, by a 4-0 vote, approved the settlement of the following closed session item. Item number 41B2, Farmers Insurance Exchange regarding insured Michael Yagubi and N. Sephardi, claim for damages, LADWP claim file number 1025898, sub 36. The settlement of the subject litigation was negotiated for a total of $313,890.74 in its entirety, including all economic damages, attorney's fees, costs, and liens. The litigation is based on damages paid by Farmers Insurance to its insureds because of water damages to real and personal property that were a result of a water system main break occurring on September 5, 2008 at or near the intersection of Coldwater Canyon and Dickens Street, and involving a residence in the 13,000 block of Ventura Boulevard, Los Angeles, California. And that is all to report. Thank you.